All right, let me tell you about the coach with a 12-kid roster. Tuesday night, he runs every one of them through the assessment, the athlete builder assessment. It takes about 10 minutes per kid. By Thursday, he's rearranged his entire practice plan. Softball coach, he's still running softball practice, but his whole plan on how he does the beginning and the end is completely changed. Why? Because almost nothing was where he thought it was. The kid he'd written off as lazy actually has a really high level elite mindset for that age, but he had scored a 4 on recovery. The kid was exhausted. He's not lazy. His so-called choker, that athlete, was a knowledge problem. The kid couldn't read the situation very well, played slow, so she panicked. Here we are. So 10 episodes in, we spent building the system. Today, let's just run it. Today, we score the team, and we turn opinions into a plan. The whole series in one breath. An athlete is 6 blocks. Again, mindset, knowledge of their sport, and teammates. How do they communicate with their teammates? The leadership team, teammates on the field, and the support team. Those are teammates, right? All deal with the head. In the body, training, nutrition, and recovery. The SWOT, strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. The SWOT analysis finds the weak link, the priority. And then the whole cascade turns into one daily habit. You break down the priority into what do we need to do today and every day to address this. The habit wins the day, and the quarterly retest proves it's working. So you scoring your team is where this stops being a podcast you listen to. It becomes the program that you run. So let's run the assessment. Here's the mechanics. 10 minutes per athlete, all 6 blocks, scored out of 10, and knowledge counts double because it's that important. The athlete answers honestly, and the coach reacts after, never leads with it. So you work with them, not to them. What you get per kid, 6 scores, a level, the lowest block flagged, and that's the limiting factor. And you can run a whole roster in a week. Practice, downtime, study hall, the bus ride home, you get it all done. So let's look at the results, because this is where coaching can go wrong. Rule 1, the lowest block is the work, not your favorite block. Not the thing you're best at coaching, the lowest block. Now, rule number 2, look for and expect surprises. The limiting factor is rarely where anybody thought. The lazy kid who's really under-recovered, the choker who's really under-informed. Rule number 3, look for team patterns. Look for trends. If 5 kids are low on the same block, then it's not a 5-kid problem. That's a whole program problem. And it's yours, right or wrong, because parents pay with their votes, with their money, by keeping a kid on your team. Or parents keep their kid in the gym based on results. And even if you're a great team coach, softball coach, training coach, if the kid is still not doing well, you're still going to be judged by that a little bit, right or wrong, even though it might be out of your jurisdiction. So let's just get it right anyways. These things all impact the kid. You see time with the kid. This is your shot. So rule number 4, always look for evidence, not vibes. I'll give a shit how you feel. I like a little bit better what you think it is. What I love is what do you know? What do you know? Pair every score with a real example, a clip, a number, a moment before you act on it. Now, let's prescribe. Each athlete, lowest block, run the cascade, land on one daily habit with some kind of stick, and that's usually just a weekly check-in with somebody who actually looks at it. Per the team, take the shared weak block and attack it in practice by design. 10 minutes a day beats 1 minute. One speech doesn't really do much, but if you do it all the time, same message over and over again, it sinks in. And resist the urge to fix everything at once. It's overwhelming. The brain doesn't like that. The person wants to quit. The coach wants to quit. The team wants to quit. And then you just simply reinforce the habit of being a quitter. One thing at a time, 1 inch per kid per quarter. Do the math. That's 12 athletes actually moving instead of 12 athletes overwhelmed. What's the rhythm look like? Retest every quarter. If you're finding progress quicker than that, every 60 days, every 30 days tops, watch the trend, not the single day. When scores move, celebrate it loudly, because progress the kid can actually see builds the buy-in. Let the parents know. It builds more buy-in. Most humans really just want to see progress. This is how we find it. We make it happen. We let them know so we feel it, experience it, and want to do it some more. When scores are stuck, no problem. Re-diagnose. Re-diagnose quickly. Might be the wrong inch, might be the wrong habit. Well, there is no stick. Maybe it's the right habit. There's no accountability. That's the operating rhythm of the real program. Score, prescribe, win the days, rescore infinitely, forever. Now, here's an example of a lingering question to this whole thing. But Jim, I coach softball, and my athletes are losing at the nutrition battle. And Jim, your question is, now what? Well, Jim, now what do I do now? How do I do that? And I love this personally. Why? Because this is a real issue. It's a real limiting factor for coaches. They're not at the dinner table. They're not buying groceries. And it's a real example. And honestly, most times, nutrition is a huge limiting factor. The athletes, they just don't know how to eat to perform. They don't know what to eat. They don't know what it looks like. They're stuck in the habit of what are we doing all the time? So full stop. They don't know how to eat to perform. So now what? Answer the question. All right, you do your triage, you do your SWOT analysis. It comes down as nutrition. You sign your first habit. What's my first habit, Jim? I'm going to tell you this. This first habit here, you got to log your food for a week. Tell the athlete, tell him or her, log your food for a week. How do you do that? I don't care how you do that. Do it on your phone. You can take pictures of every meal and log them on your phone. You do it in a notebook, spreadsheet. Ideally, you use MyFitnessPal. It's an app. It's free. The very, very cheap paid version, absolutely worth it. It does some math for you. That's very, very helpful. But the free paid version of MyFitnessPal, outstanding. It's free and it's easy. So then the coach assigns the next habit. Once you see what they're doing, if you could fix something immediately, do that. If you don't know, next step. All right, we see what you're doing. You're tracking your food. Next, there must be protein at every meal. See you in 30 days, but not really. What we want to do is have the protein every meal. The kid is told that's his habit. Each time the kid comes to practice, you pull out your clipboard or the athlete builder operating system and you ask the kid, how'd you do on Monday having protein every meal? How'd you do on Tuesday? Does he get a check mark or an X? Check mark or an X? And at the end of the week, you score the week. Hey, 3 out of 7 days, you have protein every meal. Good. Next week, how'd you do? 3.5 days, protein every meal. Perfect. Improvement. Next week, 4 days. Great. Once he's hitting 7 days in a row, protein at every meal for weeks. Yeah, coach, I got it, man. Protein every meal. Thanks. Anything new here? Once you get a little sassy or a little annoyed because they have it down, right? That's what we want. The habit is mastered. That's it. Then you move on. Give them the next thing that moves the needle. So here's the charge, everybody, coaches and parents. Run your roster this week, not next month, this week. Parents, run your own kid tonight and let their answers lead the conversation. You'll learn more in 10 minutes than in a season of watching from the bleachers. You now hold a whole system, a program never built. But our program, we diagnose, give you a prescription. There's daily execution. There's proof. The series is done. We do it over and over again infinitely. But the work starts today. The scoring tool is the free assessment built for teams. It's about 10 minutes per athlete, and it flags the limiting factor for you. You should know that by now. Links in the description, athlete-builder.com/assessment test. If you're new here and just landed on the finale, go back to episode 1 and run the whole series. It'll change how you build athletes. That's 10 episodes, one system. Keep stacking wins, win the day, stay relentless.